While I'm waiting for some components to finish off the PCBs on the front panel, it looks like it's finally coming time to have a look at the mechanism. So here it is. Yeah, it's quite a beast. You can see in there, there's just, it's quite a huge mechanism. And I do have to take it apart because of all that capacitor spewing it's got into everything. And while I don't see a huge amount of it in there, it's on the belts, if nowhere else. So I'd rather not take this apart, but sometimes things just have to be done. Where to begin? Indeed, where to begin? Yes, it's going to be hard to know how far to take this apart and what to leave alone. Take off the back plate for a starter. Screws back in. Dirty though because of that muck. Yeah, it's got into everything. Ugh. Damn that capacitor. It's just caused so much crap to go everywhere. Absolute disaster. For what's meant to be a new belt, it's got a bit of form. See here? If it's a new belt, it shouldn't be doing that. It should be circular. Yeah, this one has an Azimuth motor, which is a bit different to what I'm used to seeing. Oops, what's that? Well, I'll probably just look at this for a while and try and figure out what my plan of attack is. I'll get back. Well, I've been having a little look at this. Well, little. It's a huge mechanism, and as with anything this sort of big and complicated, the trick is to attack it in bite size. So we just do bit by bit and make sure it's well, yeah, bit by bit, and that way you can have a whole meal at the end of it if you do it bite by bite. So I'm pretty sure it's going to have to all come apart now. It's just too much capacitor crud all through it, and a lot of it would have got into the gears, and so that would eventually cause wear and God knows what sort of problems. So, and also I noticed that the idler tire is rock hard. That needs to be replaced. I think I do have one, so that's good. Now these belts are meant to be new. Well, I'm not so sure about that. Even if they are newish, I've got a feeling they really should be replaced. If you look at these belts here, a bit hard to see maybe, but they've warped into the shape of the of where they were sitting. This is for the counter or opto, and you can tell the pulley at each end has deformed it. And this one here is for that motor there, going onto that pulley in there. And you can see that it's sat on the motor just there. And of course, all that grey there is where it's got covered in the capacitor crud. So I'm going to try and clean it with a bit of rubber renew, but I think it really should be replaced, all 4 belts. Now we come to the first real major drama, as if that's not a drama enough. This is the belt for the Azimuth motor. Now, first off, trying to get this wheel out to replace this rubber belt is, well, at the moment I'm not quite sure how to do it. The only way I can see is that you actually, well, I'm not sure. It's I can get this end of the shaft out, but it's sort of hemmed in by the wheel inside in here, and it just doesn't want to fall out. So I'll have a think about that. But once again, the belt, if you can see it there, I'll put it behind. See the shape of the belt? It's got stuck on the motor and just deformed. Now, for a new belt, I don't think that should have happened. But here's the bad bit. This motor for the Azimuth is seized. It's loosened up a little bit now, but when I first went to move it, it was absolutely wouldn't move. Now it does move a little bit, and it feels rough and terrible. So that motor has to either be replaced or repaired. So I'll have a go at repairing it, but that's going to be a job in its own. So I'll probably work on this assembly first before I do anything else, and put that aside. Fortunately, it just separates from the mechanism easily enough. As I said, it's a matter of approaching this in a bite-sized manner, little bite by bite. And the next stage, I'm not sure, probably this back plate that holds the main flat belt and the two wheels for the 2 capstans. Take that out, and that appears to be reasonably separate. Of course, the wires will have to be properly catalogued into how they're loomed. I'll take a few photos. Okay, I've just pulled the motor apart. There's heaps of rust and grunge on the inside there, and the brushes seem to be okay. The shaft seems okay. The commutator is got grunge on it, but I think the main reason was because the laminations were getting rusty and interfering with the magnets inside the casing, so that would have caused it to jam up. So I'll give it a bit of a clean. It sort of looks like the capacitor grunge got into this motor, although it's sealed. Yeah, hard to know for sure. I have to be careful blowing. There's a little tiny washer on the end of the shaft there, a little fibre washer, so I need to make sure he doesn't go flying off. Now the commutator. Now that's coming off quite nicely actually. I'm not pressing hard, just gently wiping it across, and it seems to be taking most of the grunge with it. So that's good. Right, a little bit of deoxit, just and cotton bud. I probably should have soaked this in it first. Because of course this motor probably wouldn't get a lot of use, only whenever you're doing a recording and an automatic or an alignment calibration. Otherwise it wouldn't get used, because this is for recording, for changing the azimuth on the recording head, not the playback head. Which brings me to a little point. I now have a CR7 and to add to my ZX7. So the interesting thing is that the ZX7 alters the recording head when you adjust the azimuth, and the CR7 you adjust the playback head when you adjust the knob. So I probably have the best of both worlds now. I use the ZX7 for recording and the CR7 for playback. But I'm sure the ZX7 is, sorry, the CR5 is still pretty good for recording. Just it's only the azimuth that it's missing out on. So, but it's interesting how some machines, I'm doing just a dab of alcohol on the solder joints where the wires connect onto, just very carefully, just trying to get rid of some of the corrosion that's sitting on the solder blobs. See, if I accidentally break the wires, oh, that's a whole new ball game. Alright, give the commutator another wipe, this time with alcohol, just to clean it up. Yeah, looking good. Okay. Oops, oh see, there you go. Almost lost that little washer I mentioned. Stuck to my finger. Got to be careful. Right. Well, put him down. He's good. Next thing is cleaning inside here. Yeah, look at it. Grunge. Oh dear. Well, this machine has been through the wars, that's for sure. It's a good thing I've got some cotton buds in bulk. Going through so many of them. It's look at that. Right. I'm going to try just a little bit of contact cleaner through here. Must get some more of that. Yeah, you can see where the laminations actually adhered to the magnets. All right, okay, it's looking good now. So now these contacts, that's a bit rough. This is where I usually soak a sheet of paper in alcohol and pass it over the contacts. Sheet of just ordinary paper and alcohol, and just pass it through. It has enough roughness to give a good clean. So, right, that should do. Now this is where we put a drop of oil down in the bottom of the shaft and a drop of oil in the top of the shaft on the sintered bronze bearings. Down in the bottom here, it just needs one drop. That's about it. With this really fine syringe, you have to do a lot to get one drop out, so it's really good. Still a little bit of stiffness in there. It's obviously, I'd say it's loosening up. Yeah, could well be a bit of gunk down in there, but not much I can do. I think it's all right. All right, now stick this up in here. The problem is it wants to fly up in there. Oh, too easy. Too easy. Oh yeah, that's nice. Yep. Oh, that's worked out well. Good. Oh, thank goodness. Well, that's where the stuff got in. There's two slots in the back there. Oh God. I think they should have made it sealed. Need to clean the end of the shaft, get any oil off. Now we'll put the pulley back on. Yeah, that's nice. Yep. That's how far down it's got to be. Oh yeah, lovely. Wunderbar. Now, I probably need to test it. Easiest way to test them is with a 9-volt battery. Oh yeah. Stalls easily, but I might have to connect those capacitors up too. What happens when I stall it? Yeah, I can install it, but that might be, maybe it's meant to be 12 volts. I'll put those capacitors on and see what happens. Can't imagine that would do much. I think I was wrong. Oh, those capacitors make all the difference to the starting and the stalling. Not a problem. Oh, okay, well, I learn something every day. Oh yeah, it's a ball biter. Oh, excellent. All right, there you go. It's all good. I'll hitch it all up back together, and I usually put a little bit of glue on the tab just as a bit of added precaution. It's easily removed. There we go. Okay, we've got the Azimuth motor all back together, and just do one last final check with my little battery, but it's looking good. Oh yeah, yep, no stalling. That's going that way. Now it's going the other way, anti-clockwise. Yep, no stalling. Oh, those little capacitors, I never thought about that. I'm not a great one for knowing about motors, as to how they work, you know, synchronous and, well, I sort of know how synchronous works, and all the other ones, induction motors and so on. I sort of know how they work, but they can be a little bit of a mystery in the engineering sense. All right, wonderful. I'll stick him back in. There he goes. There you go. I'm about to order some JIS screwdrivers. I've always known about Pozidrive and Phillips, but I was never all that knowledgeable about JIS. So just about everything Japanese is JIS. So I should get a set. They're not cheap, but you've got to have the right tools. And I do have some Japanese motorbikes as well, so it's probably a good thing. But ordinary Phillips are no good. God, that goes really quickly. So, all right, that's one job done. That's good. This looks as though it's meant to have a little bit of gunk on the threads to stop it moving, so be it. I shall do that. And on this one too. Keeps popping out, so I reckon just a little bit of glue in there won't hurt. It can be removed if needed. Right, what's the next step? The next bite. I think the back plate, I think. Oh, these bloody leads always dangling. Anyway, yeah, I think the back plate where the flywheels are